The AMFC, it stands for the Affiliation of Major Fly Fishing Clubs. I have come to Grafham Water to represent the Army in tomorrow's Group 1 match. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The Affiliation of Major Fly Fishing Clubs have been going for decades now, and I've got to say, when I first started some 30 years ago, this is where I cut my teeth loch style fishing. It's a great way of developing your angling skills, and you get to meet lots of new friends. I'm hoping to see a few of those tomorrow in the match. Well, the Army's got a fantastic advantage for this match because we've had anglers on the water for the last 3 or 4 days now. They recently competed in the All Services event, which they won, I'm glad to say, so they'll have a very good idea of how it's fishing and the tactics we're going to employ in the match tomorrow. Practice. Why do we practice? Well, what we want to do is identify areas in the lake where there's a large number of fish that we might be able to catch quite quickly. The whole idea of match fishing is you get to your limit as quickly as possible so that you can get a time bonus. Now, we're at an added advantage this time round because the Army team has been out in big numbers for the last few days. So I'm out with today's captain, Jamie Thomas, and we've come to one of the prolific areas. We're both fishing different methods. Jamie's started on a DI5 with a couple of blobs pulling. I'm on a midge-tip line fishing the washing line technique. So we're going to crack on. We're in Gaines Cove, drift out towards A-Boy and see how we get on. Well, as you can see, the skies are now full of cloud. The sun's been pretty much obliterated. Jamie's moved to the bung and he's been snapped off on a fish at the 3-foot level. I've changed up to now a slow tip and just taking a fish on the point to a booby. We're seeing plenty of action on the surface, but the fish are proving quite difficult to tempt. So we're going to persevere on these two methods at the moment. If we start to get a few more, we'll change. Now that might sound stupid, but the idea is it's a method that you put in the back pocket and then you try and find out if there's any other methods working. Now we're getting some fairly consistent sport now. The fish are quite high on the surface, so when I'm casting quite short and I'm getting good turnover with my fly, so I'm immediately starting to fish. Now the reason I need that turnover is if I land my flies on a fish's head, I don't want my flies landing in a clump. They'll be able to take the flies as they hit the water. Now all I'm doing is figure of eighting slowly back and occasionally putting a long slow pull into my cast. Jamie's pulling on the other hand, and he's starting to get some sport as well. Well, we've just had a little team get together in front of the lodge. We've sat on the bench. We've each gone through our morning's fishing and the various methods we've employed in the areas that the team captain sent us to. It's not been as good fishing as it has in the previous days, but we are starting to notice some trends. Now this afternoon we're going to swap areas and confirm the methods. Well, we're well into the afternoon and Jamie and I have been out for about about 2.5 hours now, and we've hit spots that have been fishing really well, and we've had no action whatsoever. So a little frustrating that the fishing seems to have gone awry. But we're going to persevere, and we're now working our way from the mouth of Savages up towards the stumps on different methods, hoping to engage with a pod of fish. Well, that's the practice all done and dusted, and I'm now settled into my accommodation for the evening. What I'm going to do is prepare my kit for tomorrow. I'm going to sort out my box, make up some spare casts, get the particular flies that we're working today into one box, so when I'm out in the water, if I want to change flies, I'm not scrambling around all my boxes. I've got one little black box that's going to be the sort of go-to flies, if you like. Now, after we'd got something to eat, we sat down with a map of Grafham. We added little crosses where we caught fish today, and that added to the all services match and practice from the various other days has built up a picture of how Grafham's fishing. Now, today was tough. It was nothing like the fish numbers the guys have been getting in the previous days. So tomorrow, I'm not expecting to go out there and rip it up. I'm expecting a hard match, and every fish is going to have to be worked for. But that's what match fishing is. So I'll get my kit squared up, and then I'm going to get myself an early night, and I'll be up bright and early for breakfast and ready to go. Well, good morning guys. I've had a fantastic night's rest, and I've got to be honest with you, last night when I was in the room I was thinking, oh, you're too old for this carry on, Lindsay. I was absolutely bushed after spending all day on the water and working harder than I usually work fishing wise. So it was good to get back, get a hot shower, get a good night's rest. I'm off to pay my mess bill now, and then a bit of breakfast. Then it's off to the lodge for the match brief and ready for a day afloat. As you can see, it's a glorious day here, and the skies are bright blue, a little different from yesterday. So conditions may change and the fishing may be even harder. But we'll just need to wait and see. Take your time, Paul. Well done, Dave.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Long time coming, pal. Well, we're halfway through the match. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Predominantly the whole fleet's in Valley Creek, and it's been quite crowded and it's been difficult to get in, to get adrift without negotiating round lots of boats. I've managed to get 3 in the bag. My boat partner Dave's been really unlucky. He's got one, but he's lost a couple of fish, and the last one he lost was a real clonker. But people are starting to move about now, so in these matches you've got control for 2 hours each, but generally an agreement's made that you have 1 half and 2 halves. So it's just hit 2 o'clock and I can see already that boats are starting to move away from the area. It's all over. I only managed 4 in the end. My boat partner was likewise, so 4 apiece, which was pretty unfair, to be honest. Dave fished really well today, and he lost 3 fish in play as well as propping on one of his lines, but it's carnage on the boat dock. It always is at the end of a match, as people are trying to get their kit and their fish off the boats. Today the fish were concentrated in Valley Creek at the bottom end, and I've been doing lock style competition fishing for a long time. I'm a fairly robust chap, but some of the boat etiquette today was absolutely shocking. I'm chuckling now because it was so bad I could have passed the tip of my rod to some of the anglers going past in boats. So that was pretty sad to see. This is Division 1. Some of these guys should have known better, but hey, it is what it is. I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. I think the team's done quite well. We'll only find out after the weigh-in and at the meal. I'm back home, and I'm sorry I didn't finish the video off at the water, but by the time we had the meal, I took the car back and got home. It was very late and I was absolutely bushed. I was actually supposed to be fishing this morning, but I was just too pooped. If I've got to be honest, I'm really feeling my age, and concentrating for 8 hours in match fishing really takes it out of you, especially when the fish aren't coming very fast. You've got to concentrate on every cast, and the method that was prevalent and the people that did very well fished the bung all day, and concentrating on that little indicator takes a lot out of you, and it certainly took a lot out of me. I didn't do particularly well. I didn't do particularly badly. I was sort of middle of the road, if you like, and I put it down to a number of things. I'm not doing as much lock style fishing as I used to, and I'm certainly not doing nearly the amount of match fishing that you need to do to become what I would call match fit. But I had an absolutely fabulous time. It was fantastic to be involved with a team again. I really enjoyed it, and I'll be certainly putting my name down for more AMFCs in the future. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you would like to find out more about fishing the bung, why not check out this video on the screen now? And I'll see you all next time. Dave's trying to talk the fish into the boat. I don't think that's a viable tactic personally. He didn't want to be on camera. He said he was too ugly. I agreed with that, but I thought I'd put it in anyway.